ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. Ow. Okay, my leg hurt.
Oh no.
My leg hurt and it caused me great pain and agony and turmoil and
I think the first word of the stream is just pain and agony and... Hello everybody, welcome to the stream.
YouTube, when you say poopy, you're demonetized. YouTube, when you open a stream with absolute existential horror, the discussion of infinite pain lasting into eternity. Funny.
Welcome back to the stream, everybody. We're playing Sonic Unleashed today. Okay,
for anybody who just stumbled across this VOD, I need to tell you, me and Elena have spent the last, several hours just talking about isopods. It's been fantastic.
You say several hours, it was maybe like 15 minutes.
It's been the last 2 days we've been spending just talking about isopods, basically. We went through some stuff, there's this one exchange that we had to immortalize in Tumblr post. I'm just going to read back for you, which was, I'm like, what's the largest land isopod? Elena's like, well, it can't be very big, because it'll have gills. And sorry, I went for America and got Siri. Well, it won't be very big because it'll have gills, and those aren't very efficient at breathing air.
Why is my controller not?
And I just replied saying, "What a fucking idiot!"
Yeah.
I died laughing.
Where's my? Why we not have controller working?
I was trying to give you the TikTok voice, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Okay, I just unplugged my controller and plugged it back in, and now we're fine.
I went to my doctor to have him look at my butthole. It's that voice, you know. I don't know if that's a very good impression. Asking my boyfriend to reduce the dog to giblets.
There is a little rock in my home.
No, Elena, that's Isopod George!
But yeah, so we did end up looking up what the world's largest isopod is. And it's barely bigger than any other isopod I've ever seen. In fact, I think it's only the biggest in terms of weight. Because it did look pretty small. It was like... on my pinky finger, it was like the space in between my fingernails there. That's the world's biggest isopod.
The world's fattest isopod.
Because I've seen ones that are longer than that, but they're more flat. Right? Yeah. I've seen really flat isopods.
I think
so this one's really fat. The flat ones suck.
Yeah,
but they're optimized for living under rocks.
Pathetic. But yeah, I spent an entire conversation being mesmerized by how much isopods.
I didn't mean to talk to this guy. His name is Lambros.
I mean, I love isopods, right? But I think the fact that they suck is part of the appeal, you know?
Lambros when you try to feed them mutton.
They can barely breathe air. They can't breathe water. Pretty much all they can do is just huff rock sweat. And that's it.
You're paying zero attention to anything I'm saying right now, are you?
Yeah, I don't give a shit about Lambros.
I was trying to make a stupid joke and you were unamused.
What was the joke?
I said Lambros when you try to feed them mutton.
That's pretty funny.
Because, they only eat lamb. You don't want the adult sheep. I'm gonna need to remember the controls. Why did you fall through the sea floor, Sonic?
That's just how pits work in Sonic for a while, so just like...
what the f- I was able to move back on land while he was in the drowning animation. Alright, so this is the level that I couldn't go to before because I needed 26 more medals. Which BIS graciously collected for me. Because they wanted to force me to play the rest of the game, and I was not interested in getting the medals.
It was really easy, actually.
Yeah, sure.
It was easy as piss.
You know what else is easy as piss?
Pissing?
Shutting the hell up.
Not for me. Not for me!
Wow.
I'm gonna send you a link for the stream to Lane
Oopsie.
5 times.
Okay. So that she will watch.
Where's the one chat that
And
has
learn.
me? Yeah. 2.
Jungle Joyride is the stage that we've been waiting for all this
5.
time.
I'm listening to the stage music on YouTube so that I get the full experience.
Like how it told me about sidestepping as the tooltip before this. Because it knew I was immediately going to have to... Okay, what the hell just happened? How did I manage that one?
You didn't. That's actually the trick. I love how if you try to boost with no energy, Sonic just farts a little ring.
I guess it makes sense that Sonic would have ring-shaped farts considering he's eating rings all the time.
Yes.
Okay, what am I doing? Like, the game didn't just immediately kill me because it was letting me run on the water, but I couldn't, like, recover it.
Well, could you navigate 3D space?
I didn't know where to go.
Not into the water.
Well, duh. But, like, you can't jump high enough to get back on the thing, you know? See? Like, you're kind of just screwed. And you also can't get on these islands. So, like, really, like, I'm just dead, and I'm just prolonging the inevitable.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, Elena was telling me before the stream that apparently nobody watches the VOD streams that much.
Yeah, every single VOD of Sonic Unleashed has, like, no views on YouTube. Hey, what the hell is that?
I think people
Hello?
Oops.
Why
I
did
think
that
people
even
just
happen?
aren't ready for a negative Unleashed stream, you know?
Yeah.
I think people take one look at Elena's takes and they just assume that she's the anti-Brozuka.
Oh my god.
You know? That she's the keynote. She's the valley. She's the unambitious.
She's a valley girl. She's a valley girl. Okay, fine. For sure, for sure.
Did you grow up on a hill or a valley?
The valley girl, and there is no cure.
That's a genuine question, by the way.
I grew up, like, in, like, hills, I guess.
Yeah, but were you on a hill or in the valley?
I don't know. Who knows?
Wait, okay, imagine you walk to your house. Is it uphill?
Yes and no. Like, it's both. You had to go
so
uphill
you're on the
and
side of
downhill.
a hill.
Maybe?
Hi, Maxine Cat.
Oh, hey, look at what the... Okay, I guess that works. I just cut into the game through the weird boundary between the 2D and 3D sections. Okay, where... Also, hello, Maxie. Welcome to the stream.
Oh, yeah, that's a pit, by the way.
Yeah, I know, but, like, why did I go in it?
Because you were
aimed like, why
and didn't aim away from it.
Why didn't I go in the springs?
Because you weren't aimed at the springs, you ran in the direction of the pit.
But...
Yeah.
Well, whatever. The nice of the game to just stick a 1-up right there in the middle of everything.
Are we playing on an actual 360? Come on. As if we would play on anything less than actual... Well, you could... You know, I was gonna try and, like, give up... Yeah, I was gonna try and keep the illusion going, Elena. You have to ruin it! Elena, pretend...
No, I've never had an Xbox in my life.
Wait, no, shit, you're going even deep... You're digging the hole deeper, Elena, go back! Backpedal now, backpedal. You do own an Xbox One, though.
No. I've never had any Xbox console of any kind, sorry.
I mean, I am doing... I am going to isopod you.
Oh boy, oh boy. Hey, what the fuck? Okay. I am. Hold on one sec. I am playing on an Xbox Series X controller.
You see, that proves it.
I hate the name of the Xbox Series X/S because like neither of them has like its own name. You know, it's just the Xbox Series X/S because there's the Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series S. And they're both the same thing, it's just like the difference between the Xbox One and the Xbox One S, you know? And that one is like digital only and like less like powerful or something.
God, imagine unironically buying a digital only Xbox.
Well, it's cheaper.
Imagine being like, I don't want a disc slot. I want to never own game again.
That's just like having a gaming PC. Because like computers don't come with disk drives anymore.
Yeah, but on a computer you can just torrent. So if they remove it from the store, that's what you do.
You can just hack your 3DS.
Here we go.
This is the first time you've seen Elena play Unleashed on stream? This is like part 22.
I think it's part 8.
I think it's part 22.
I think you're part 22.
Wait, so if this is part 8, then like... when do you eat the rock fruit?
What?
Are you gonna fuse with somebody?
When do I get
point?
an 8?
Like, cause you get... Oh! That's not in the rules, Elena! Twitch don't like that!
Twitch doesn't want me to get an 8.
Yeah. Yeah, but we're gonna bury you with somebody else and then you combine with them.
I don't want to be buried. I don't want to be buried in a pet cemetery. Oh, we've got model explosions. Hold on.
Are you gonna... I was gonna make more jokes, but I don't actually know that much about part 8. Are you gonna steal the...
I don't seem to be able to get rid of these model explosions. They seem to be just inherent to the level.
It's part of the original vision of Brozuka, don't worry.
For context, usually when models explode, I'm able to press F5 and they go away. I press an F5 and they're staying. So I guess the game's just like this now.
Hey, Elena.
Yeah.
In part 8 of JoJo, right? I know the main character's stand has the ability to create bubbles, and it can use the bubbles to steal something from something, up to and including its physical properties, right?
Oh.
Like one of the examples people give a lot is like making somebody slide on their ass by stealing their friction, right? I always think about that stand because its name is Soft and Wet, which is just I don't know. It just has an aura to it, doesn't it?
Sure does. Anyway, I was singing, I was going, I don't wanna be buried in a pet cemetery. I don't want to live my life again. That's the actual song for the movie Pet Cemetery, which is a movie, that's a Stephen King book movie. And I just love the fact that they got, because it's a song by the Ramones, which is just a punk rock band. And I love the idea that they got a punk rock band to do the theme song for a horror movie.
That sounds pretty reasonable to me.
I think that's great.
All I know about Pet Cemetery is I know that I saw the Rick and Morty bit based on it.
I see.
It was actually interesting because it was the one time we ever see Rick do actual science. Because he's like a scientist, right?
God, look at
You know,
these
we never-
just exploded models everywhere. They're great.
Those are the straight
Oh, it's-
lines. They're very common in Indonesia.
You finished the game on Series X. I see.
Is Apathos based on Malaysia, Indonesia?
I like
Wait,
how playing Sonic Unleashed is like the only reason to get the Xbox Series X. We've talked about that recently. So I was gonna say, the only Stephen King movie I've seen is just the one that's not a horror movie, which is just Stand By Me. Oh, come on. It's instead just based on Stephen King's childhood.
Also, I want to shout out Chroma's comment. How I play Sonic Unleashed, knowing my models are ontologically exploded.
Stand By Me does still include, like, a realistic dead body in it. So, like...
Wait a minute! That's a Steve... Wait, I know Stand By Me from parodies! Like, there was the Simpsons parody, and the Family Guy parody,
Yeah, that's Stephen
and the
King.
Pokemon thing.
Mm-hmm.
I could pop culture osmosis that one.
I watched that movie a couple years ago. I really liked it. Because you know, the Pokemon reference is like they were. Wow, I love how the game is just like, you failed. But yeah, the Pokemon reference part where it's like the kids are like walking down the train tracks. They're walking down those train tracks because they're looking for a kid who died. They're looking for his body.
Oh.
Yeah.
So they're standing by the dead kid? Is that the idea? It's like the loyalty?
No, they're standing by each other.
Oh, I see.
Like a group of friends.
I would love to see a gif of
God
all the kids from
frickin'
Stand
damn
By
it.
Me punching Senator Armstrong.
Green Mile is also a non-horror Stephen King movie / book, I see.
That just makes me think of Homestead.
I also like, I've read just the tiniest bit, like the first few pages of Under the Dome. Which starts, because that book is like extremely long. It's like over 1,000 pages long. So it's just this massive brick of a book. My mom had it, because my mom, I know about Stephen King stuff through my mom. She's a big Stephen King fan. And the first page of Under the Dome is about the dome appearing, right? It's like a story about just this invisible dome appearing over a town.
Yeah.
1,074 pages. Thank you, Maxie. And the first few pages are from the perspective of a gopher who's just walking along and and then suddenly the dome appears and just cuts him in half.
Oh.
And so it's about this gopher's like last moments.
Tragic.
And that's the only part I've read. I've only read the part with the gopher because after that it was like a lot less interesting.
Gophers are such a like. Gophers feel like such a joke creature. They're like these like little weird American rats.
It's such a funny start to the book too, because it's like the gopher was like thinking about like his wife and at home. He was like on his way home and he's like thinking about his wife and children. And he's like, and then suddenly realizes that his back half is not attached to his front half anymore, and he's like really confused.
Content warning: this book features gopher marriage.
But yeah, and then there's also apparently a TV show of Under the Dome that's like really terrible. And my mom said that she liked watching it just because she wanted to see what like really stupid thing would happen next, in like the next episode. It like barely had anything to do with the book.
That's
After
kind
a
of like
while.
me with the Nickelodeon version of Animorphs.
I see. Oh, come the fuck on.
sometimes I do actually feel like I've been dunking on Unleashed a little bit recently. I don't know. It is kind of like you do feel the ambition, though, don't you?
Ambition of what?
Like, look at this environment. Like, look at this lovingly exaggerated depiction of real-world location. I don't know what part of the world it is. I'm sorry. I think it's Philippines area-ish, right?
You could say like Mediterranean.
That's not. Those are not the same thing.
Well, I don't know what I'm talking about either.
Elena, that is literally like, I think the opposite ends of the planet, Elena.
Really? Well, I thought the well, because there's the Caribbean, just over by Florida.
Okay, the Mediterranean.
I thought the Mediterranean is like Hawaii and etc.
What? What? No! No, it isn't! What are you talking about?
I don't know. I don't know.
It's a sea. It's a sea beneath mainland Europe and above Africa. And it's like, yeah, it's like, you know, it's Greece type place.
I would never
In fact,
have
the first
guessed that.
stage was Mediterranean, and then
I thought
the
it was
Philippines
like Philippines, Hawaii, etc. What is that called then? What am I misremembering? Because I know there's a name for that area.
Okay, I'm gonna look up all the seas. Hold on.
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so Under the Dome. I remember when my mom was reading it for the first time and like telling us about it, my dad was like, I bet it's like aliens, right? Because there's like no because like it's like a mystery like where the dome came from, right?
Yeah.
It's about the people like trying to survive under it. And like it turns out it's like semi-permeable, so like they set up like giant fans outside the dome to like keep like fresh air coming in. Oh, come on! Come on! I was 11 minutes into this stage and I've game over. Because nonsense happened.
I think it's just stuff in the South China Sea you're thinking of, maybe. It's hard because, like, there is definitely a load of stuff just above Australia, like, between, like, Eurasia and Australia. That feels like you should have a
homing
name.
attack is the same button as boosting in this.
Why is Lynn saying nay? That's horse speak! Indonesia, Thailand, and Cambodia. Yeah, that's the sort of it. Southeast Asia. That works.
I'm just losing my mind. But anyway, when my mom was reading it for the first time, my dad was like theorizing that it was aliens that did it. It turns out he was correct, but in an even funnier way, because it was alien children doing like a science experiment for school, basically. Was the explanation.
God, there was really
and the parents like show up eventually
for that kind of thing.
And like tell them to stop, basically. Well, that's Stephen King loves doing aliens. Like basically anytime there's like supernatural stuff, his explanation is that it's aliens.
So
like I think it is an alien. There's the Langoliers, those are aliens. You know, stuff like that.
He's basically like the Takashi Iizuka of books.
Yeah.
I want to tweet that on Tumblr now.
He's got some weird ass scenarios too, cause like There's one about like cell phones that like there's like some kind of mind control through cell phones or something in one of them. One of his horror things.
I mean,
you were gonna say Pennywise
like,
is also an alien? Yeah, that's another example.
What's on the menu, Lynn? What do you think again?
So like, his books aren't like, they're not supernatural, they're all sci-fi, actually, basically. Which is really funny to me. Ah!
Oh, I'm sorry, Lynn.
There we go. I don't know if Pet Cemetery is aliens, but based on his other works, I'm just going to assume it is.
Do you think an isopod would even know when it died?
I don't think an isopod knows that it lived.
I love how, like, I said isopod, but when you said that, I was imagining, Shithead the single-celled organism. Is anybody in chat familiar with Shithead the single-celled organism?
I am familiar.
I love Shithead. They're so good.
And the model explosions are exquisite today. Look at this shit.
Nice.
So I've been playing. I've been finally continuing my Ocarina of Time playthrough. That started last year. And I like how much of a just figure it out type of game that is. Like, basically the majority of your time playing that game is spent just figuring it out, like what you're supposed to be doing. It really is the proto Outer Wilds. Ocarina of Time.
No wonder I hate it.
So much of the time I spend playing Ocarina of Time is just wandering around, trying to guess what I'm supposed to do next. I mean, I mostly jokingly say it's proto Outer Wilds because, like, it does point you in the right direction most of the time. But there are a lot of things that you have to do in it where it's just like, it really doesn't explain anything, and you just have to just kind of wander around until you stumble into it.
Elena, you know that song you said was for Pet Cemetery?
Uh-huh.
What's the name of the song?
Pet Cemetery.
When is that going to be a stand?
I don't know if they referenced the Ramones yet.
I don't know.
They also, their other hit song is Blitzkrieg Bop. I mean, there's some other ones other than that, but that's like one of their main ones. If they were gonna reference one, they probably would do that one. Because they tend to, like, JoJo tends to reference, like, whatever is, like, the biggest, like, hit song of a band. Most likely because that's just what the author is probably most likely to be aware of.
Yeah.
Or it's just like the best way to represent them. Also, oh, it could have been, they could have referenced I Wanna Be Sedated. That's their other popular song. I like that you can just have Sonic just crawl pathetically underneath this. And also I like that there's plenty of room for him to stand up in there, and yet he will only crawl. Oh. Bam bam ba bam ba bam bam ba bam, I wanna be sedated. That's how the song goes. And the famously misheard lyric is, "I want a piece of date bread." You ever think about how misheard lyrics are almost always about food? And people mishear songs as being about food more often than anything else. Usually it's cheese for some reason. People think people are singing about cheese all the time.
It's also, if you ask someone to ad-lib, it's nearly always about food. Which is why the album Super Ghostbusters is largely just stuff like, "I want a spooky spaghetti," and stuff like that. And I went to McDonald's.
No,
I love the one where he goes to McDonald's. It's so good.
I like the music video for "I Want to Be Sedated" because it's basically just the band just kind of sitting at a table, just like looking completely out of it. Well, the rest of the footage in the background is like just a ton of chaos occurring around them, all sped up.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it's like doom scrolling, basically.
They're all just kind of sitting there like... And then just like a whole bunch of people are like running around and like there's just tons of stuff happening behind them. And like the footage is all sped up. That's pretty great. Oh, that wasn't a 1-up. I'm so disappointed. I can't tell because 1-ups don't render properly.
You could just cross-reference your lives before and after.
Well, I mean, when you get a life, it makes a sound. You know, it goes doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
Oh.
Yeah.
They
it's
put
placed the 1-up sound.
They put ghost in food? I love the bit where it's like... "So I went to see Kentucky Fried Man. But joke's on you, dumbass! The chicken has ghost too! Why does all the fucking food have a ghost in it?"
Sasha was showing me a Vinesauce Joel bit this morning.
Yeah.
You know the song "Lonely Rolling Star" from Katamari?
Yeah, I love that.
He does a thing whenever there's about to be like some... it's usually when there's something like big and dramatic, especially if it's like luck-based. He starts playing a specific version of the song, where when it gets to the chorus, it becomes extremely bass-boosted, and he will time whatever the luck-based thing is with the bass-boosted part.
That's funny.
And so she showed me one where he was playing Metopia, and there's a part where you like bet on a game of rock, paper, scissors. Yeah. And the chat was insisting that he pick rock, and he's like, "No, I'm gonna pick paper." And then he does it right as the song gets bass boosted, and the computer picked scissors. So he picked paper, and it was really funny.
Maxi is first.
No! Why did I was trying to homing attack, and he just boosted right off the cliff. This is why every other Boost Sonic game maps those to different buttons.
You know that one blog, it was like, "Did you know of game?" or whatever, something like that. I saw one that was just like...
But did you forget gaming?
Did you forget gaming or something like that? It had one where it was just Oma Chow.
Sonic, what the fuck are you doing? Just stomp regularly. Why are you going at an angle every time?
Because he has momentum. He has a lot of it. But there was one of them where it was just like, "Press the jump button again to homing attack, Sonic. Oops, never mind, wrong game. I died again." Something like that.
No.
Because it was Sonic Unleashed. But anyway, Maxi bring up the ending of that Super Ghostbusters song. I call Health Inspector. No! I call Ghostbuster! And I tell them, "Destroy the city! Fuck!" I love that. I love that because I know that.
No!
I know that
also, like, that reminds me...
I know... Go on.
It reminds me of that post I saw yesterday about Nintendo, sending 8,000 copyright takedown notices to different GitHub repositories that had Switch emulator code.
I want to get back to somebody speedrun.
And somebody responded to it with just, "I'm going to kill everyone."
Oh no, yeah.
So I just love the idea of responding to something like this with just kill everyone.
Humanity has failed.
Not whatever was causing the problem, just literally everyone. That's it. Anyway.
Okay, get back to what I was saying real quick so I can finish it. I know that there's an implied story to the entire album, Super Ghostbusters, which hinges around there being actual ghosts, right? But I love, for that one specific track, the one about McDonald's, I like to read it as, like, the Ghostbusters are just a modern day witch hunt, you know? Like, there are no ghosts.
No.
You can just... You base the Ghostbusters
Every time
are
I just try to jump over the spike, and he just goes. I'm just trying to jump over the spike.
Anyway, I like to imagine it's just some, like, government-funded witch hunt, you know? Like, if you're just annoyed at McDonald's, for whatever reason, this guy probably just has food poisoning, you know? Because the McDonald's makes him sick, the KFC makes him sick, it's probably just his tummy, you know? But then he just keeps calling the Ghostbusters and asking them to do ever more disproportionate, like, acts of interference at these restaurants. And I love how for a moment he was going to call the health inspector. Like, there was a moment of clarity where he was like, well, you know, if I actually think these places are dirty, maybe I should have it actually taken care of. And then he's like, no! Because he's just so angry, he wants the place bothered. And then in a moment of anger, he asks the Ghostbusters to destroy the city. And ostensibly they do it. They just destroy the city. And it's like a parable, you know? Like, you've made this, like, this cudgel to be used against others.
I managed to survive this time.
It's like you've made this cudgel to be used against anything who annoys you. But eventually, in anger, you use it against society itself, and everything is destroyed.
And that was the end of the level. That was the end of the level.
Oh, nice!
It took me 13 and a half minutes.
Wait. Tails and Shadow Cupcakes?
Oh, lordy.
Wait, do you think unlicensed? Don't worry, I'm not going to tell Sega. I just want to know. Do they seem officially licensed?
Those cupcakes you ate, did they seem officially licensed to you? And could you speak, like, this direction for me? Will you confirm or deny whether or not they were official? Could you enunciate really well and speak directly towards this microphone?
This entire time, I've just been Aaron Webber in a BIS suit. Hey, Elena,
Yeah.
what do you think? What do you imagine when I invoke the idea of a BIS suit?
It's so funny.
What do you imagine?
I imagine it being really funny. Okay, now the question is, where do we go now?
Have we done the night stage on this one yet? We'll go use Professor Pickle and I will know. But there's no key above it, so maybe you've already got that.
Well, we'll find out. Oh, wait, yeah, we did do a nighttime level here. Well, let's go to the world map and it'll tell us where to go. Okay, yeah, this is still lighting up, so... Let's make it nighttime and check.
Well, you got a key, so maybe there's a boss of some type. Some kind of a brawl.
Oops, I just accidentally punched a random man in the face.
No, you slashed the claws. They will never be the same.
Yeah, he's gonna turn into a werehog too now. Been infected. What if I made
What was in the order, Lynn?
What if I made a fantasy scenario where there was, instead of a zombie virus, it was a werewolf virus? Like, what if werewolves were caused by a virus?
That'd probably be a lot harder to survive.
Egg Lancer? That's from Deltarune. He's an eggy-shaped boy.
bus. Am I cool with the bus? Do you think Soccer will be able to catch me when I'm on my bicycle? My very sick bike. I love Watson because...
For a long time I thought I didn't really like Chinese food, but it turns out I just don't like Chinese food from Safeway. Which is primarily where I've ever had Chinese food from.
I have beef with Chinese food because my brother used to order an Indian every other week and he would send me the leftovers and I loved them. But they swapped to fucking Chinese and it's nowhere near as good and like, I don't know, it's like... it's like, I don't know, it's like this...
When I've had Chinese food that came from like actual Chinese food places, I like it much better than the Chinese food from the grocery store. Basically.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I had Indian food exactly one time, and it was because we went on a field trip to an Indian restaurant because we were studying like world culture in elementary school. I barely remember it.
One of my favorite things about Pokemon Sword and Shield, Sword and Shield, is that they recognized that the UK is a place that loves its curry. Because it's one of those things where it's like Americans, right? Americans love Mexican food, right? It's one of those things where, like, if you don't come from America, it's so conspicuous watching American TV. People talk about, like, tacos and burritos and burrito and like, all the other stuff.
Especially now that I live in Arizona, there's tons of Mexican food. Okay.
Yeah. It's so conspicuously common, right?
So
it's one of those things where...
very close to Mexico.
Yeah. But it's one of those things where it's like, if you say Americans love Mexican... If you say that Mexican food is one of the big things in America, it's a typical American food, right? It's like, there are certain people who will be like, well, it isn't really. It's popular, but it's not...
why do I keep jumping? Why do I keep...
Why do you keep jumping over?
Because I'm trying to jump over the lasers, but I guess I don't need
you're
to.
on a wall.
Yeah, but I don't... Do you think I'm smart? Because the answer is I'm not.
Oh, sorry, so when I say you have a bug brain, that's mean. But when you say you're not smart, that's okay.
Well, because I feel like having an insect brain is on another level than just not being very smart.
You tweet about being a bug all the time! You tweet about it constantly!
I don't use Twitter, so I'm not tweeting anything, actually.
You tweet it on Tumblr. You Tumblete it. Anyway, what was I saying? Anyway, my point is, okay, it's one of those things, right, okay, where, like, I feel like stuff that, it's one of those things, right, okay, where, like, the idea of a country doesn't line up with the reality of it, right? Like, the reality of America is that, like, compared to other places, there's a huge amount of, like, Mexican influence on the food, right? Because they're neighboring fucking countries, and like, a lot of, like, overlap, and
like, Spanish is, like, the second most common language.
Yeah.
In fact, to the point where it, like, is threatening to, like, overtake and become the most common language spoken in the country.
Yeah. But that's the thing is, though, is that there'll be people
but then
who, like...
everybody, like, you know, culturally, people are, like, they hate Mexicans and Mexico in general, and etc.
Yeah. There are people who benefit from pretending that because the human reality
that these places are right on. God damn it.
The human reality that these places are right next to each other, and there is like a cross-pollination of culture, doesn't benefit their like narrative, right?
Yeah, and also like half of the country in the west and south was originally just part of Mexico.
Yeah.
There was an entire there was the Mexican-American War. Like the Mexican-American War is interesting because you almost never hear anybody talk about it. Like it's just like the forgotten like major war. Like it happened like like, I think, like, almost contemporarily with the Civil War, even. And, like, basically, peace was arrived at because America was just like, okay, we'll stop fighting you if you give us, all of these territories.
Yeah.
For, like, a discount price. Like, we'll pay you for them, but we won't pay you as much as we should, basically.
Yeah.
And that's what... And they got, New Mexico, Arizona, California, Nevada, I think... well, okay, well, those started because of Texas, because Texas decided they wanted to be part of the United States, and Mexico didn't want to give it up. And that's what the war was started about. So they got Texas, obviously, because that was the main part of it. And they're like, not only are we taking Texas, we're taking, like, we're taking, like, half your country. So,
that's probably why you never hear about it, is that, you know, a certain party looks bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just I was on the idea of, like, the reality of what a country consists of versus the platonic ideal that exists to benefit certain people. Because I want to say that, like, I like that when Pokemon depicted the UK, the main food they used was curry, right? Because one of those weird things where it's like tea is associated with the UK a lot, right? And that was like, wasn't that largely like an import from Asia as well?
Probably. Because, like, most of the places in the world where tea comes from are Asian countries, and then, like, also the UK.
Yeah. But then, like, with curry, even though it's something that, like, is immensely popular, you know, to the point where it's like, I remember a shop near me, like, a common, like, it's what they call, like, a newspaper shop chain, right? They sold, like, curry sandwiches, right? It was just, like, one of the things, I don't know, it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, you know, I've eaten far more curry in my life than I have, like, fish and chips or something like that, right? But it's still considered, like, a compartmentalized thing, you know? It's like a gimmick from elsewhere or whatever, right? And I think that ends up being down to, like, some... I know it's, like, weird, right? Because it's, like, a lot of the curry that people eat over here actively isn't the same stuff you would get in India, right? A lot of it's, like, really, when you get down to it, it's fusion dishes, right? Created by, like, Indian families.
I love it when Sonic is just casually strolling, by the way.
Yeah.
The model explosions are just incredible today. Just completely fucking with the game.
Combined with, like, I don't know, something about the cinematography and the two of them scoping out the place. And behind them there's just all these fucked up polygons.
That's not what I mean. That's not... Never mind. I'm fine.
But my point is something...
Hey, Chip, remember when you wanted me to throw that guy in the river?
Anyway, my point, just to summarize, is it's something about, like, who's allowed to be considered part of the culture, you know? Whose contributions are considered part of the actual thing versus, like, a modular attachment. I don't know. Something class, something. And I'd probably pick the worst place to talk about this. I'm gonna shut up now. Before I get interrupted again.
Why is Chip, like, climbing the wall like a little spider? Oh, he's flying, okay. I just saw him going up the wall, and I was like, is he just, like, crawling? Like a little goober?
Elena, you're incredible.
Nice of your chin to chip through your gem there, Chip. What's with the fucking cartoon sound effects?
Yeah, that's one of the things that I hated about this game's cutscenes when it first came out.
Generic cartoon sound effect number 6.
Of light, of rebirth.
I think that, like, the Sonic franchise spent a long time trying to actively westernize itself. And I think that has been a bad idea, and it sucked.
It's like showing up like... That was amazing.
Sonic.
I like how Chip has never returned to the series after this game.
Yeah, it's
Just
pretty weird.
immediately yeeted from the series.
Yeah. I wonder why they decided to do that.
I wonder why. He has major little shit energy.
I was listening to, like,
Why was
Adabat's
that hilarious to
music,
see him just standing like that?
Oh, people love this scene.
Chip standing on the ground.
My real name is Light Gaia. I draw power from the day and light and guide the planet to its rebirth. My job was
I cannot take this seriously, I'm so sorry.
But
You're
Eggman
weak.
broke the world apart himself. And Dark Gaia and I were awakened.
Cause
before
I can't take him seriously because of how he's been for the entire rest of the game.
Dark Gaia broke apart, and I
Doesn't it make sense, though?
was.
That, like, the opposite of a big scary monster would be a little goober.
All because this isn't the
I guess so.
awakening.
Time of awakening.
Dark Gaia grows over millions of years, then rises.
The opposite of
to destroy the
something
world.
incredibly scary and dire and serious would be something incredibly silly.
We've been doing this
and
over
lighthearted.
over, again and again, since the very beginning of time.
So you were asleep?
Yeah, but why are you doing, like, you could just, like, you guys could just not do that, you know?
For ages and ages.
Wouldn't it be easier if you guys just didn't?
I think this is one of the problems thematically of Sonic Unleashed as a Sonic game. Is that Sonic games are largely about undoing the mistakes of the past and, like, breaking cycles and stuff. And, you know, a new perspective. And this game is just deterministic. Yeah, things just happen to cycle forever. Just clockwork. Do your part,
I haven't
numbnuts.
done anything, Sonic. You're the reason you haven't changed at all. You're too strong to lose yourself.
I'm the reason?
Yeah, you never doubt yourself, no matter what.
It reminds me of,
Or the darkness
the Marvel
inside your heart.
movie, The Eternals.
I knew that about you. That's why I wanted you to help me. It's been
Where,
so
like,
fun getting to see the world. I've lived
the Eternals, or like, it turns out that the Earth is just, like,
pretty, or
an egg or a giant,
people are so nice.
cosmic being, or I think they're just called, or they're called the Celestials, right?
Mm.
Sonic, I will
And they just, they make all of the stars,
thank you, Sonic,
in the universe.
friend.
Yeah.
Oh, bye, Chip.
Whoa, what?
Oh my god.
Think you're off to all by yourself.
What? But my
And it turns out the Earth is an egg for one of those,
from here on out, it's
and it's getting ready to hatch.
so, I mean, there's no reason for you
And they eventually stop him.
just
Do I need a reason to
They like kill the Celestial, like they abort the Celestial, basically.
Mm.
And this, the Eternals is kind of the point for me at which the Marvel Cinematic Universe is clearly just starting to break down, like in terms of quality and in terms of what they do with the continuity and everything. Because it's like, this is like literally an earth-shattering event, right?
Yeah.
And like, it has no bearing on the overall plot whatsoever, essentially. Like, none of the other heroes are there to care about it, even though this takes place after all the shit with Thanos and everything, where all of the heroes were, you know, they were all involved with this big threat that was, like, a threat to, like, the whole Earth, as well as, like, the whole universe at large, right? And now here's this massive being about to burst forth from the Earth. And only these heroes that we've never heard of before, they're the only ones here that know about or care about or are going to stop this. And also,
Well,
it, like,
the
undermines a bunch of stuff, too, with, like, the backstory of the Eternals and, like, everything.
That does sound kind of awful, to be honest.
And then, like,
That kinda sounds-
the head
that kinda
and
sounds
hand
like
of this
the-
giant being, like, are, like, sticking out of the ocean now, right? And it's never brought up or shown again in any of, like in earlier Marvel movies, that would have been a big thing, and they would have, like, referenced it in other movies. Not anymore. Nobody cares that there's a giant head and hand sticking out of the ocean now. It doesn't matter. So, like,
It's funny because that kind of sounds like the Sonic Unleashed of the Marvels.
yeah, it's gonna. And that movie, like, tanked as well. Nobody liked it. Because, like, so, like, originally they, like, you know, at first the Marvel Cinematic Universe was just, like, their big major characters, right? Because obviously they're gonna do what they know is popular. But when the movies did well enough, they could start doing more obscure series, like Guardians of the Galaxy and stuff like that. And Ant-Man and Doctor Strange, you know, stuff like that. And those did great because, like, people were invested in the universe and everything. And so those characters are now, like, massively more popular than they were originally. But those were also, those, like, in terms of, like, the comic books and everything, those were always their B-listers, right? Like, they already knew those were good characters, right? And that people would like them. They were just never as massively popular as, like, Spider-Man or Captain America or Iron Man or, you know, those kind of things, right?
Yeah.
So they started going for, or so when those were successful, they're like, okay, well, we can keep digging deeper into our catalog here. And we can do movies for things like Captain Marvel and the Eternals, and well, the Eternals is even lower down on the rungs than Captain Marvel is, or Black Panther, or things like that. And that's the point at which they kind of flew too close to the sun, I think. And they're like, okay, we're really scraping the bottom of the barrel now. And it's gotten to the point where people are not into this anymore. And now also they have the major disaster of they've been setting up, like, their new major villain after Thanos with King the Conqueror. And now, like, the actor who played King the Conqueror is, like, going to jail now for, like, domestic violence. So now they're just, like, they're fucked. Because, like, Thanos went through a few different actors, but before he was a major character, you only just barely saw him, right?
Yeah.
It's like it didn't matter who his actor was once they made him, like, the major character. But King the Conqueror has been in, like, several shows and movies and everything, and, like, it's very obvious who he is and his actor and everything, so he's very well established as a character. And now they're fucked because the guy's in jail.
No. This is fine. You need to roll the punches. So what happens is in the next movie, he shows up, right? Okay, and off screen he has turned himself into a robot. That's how you comic book solve it.
But the problem is that they've already, because they're doing a multiverse thing now, right? And they've had all of the kings. So, like, they showed, like, all of the kings from all the different multiverses, and they all look the same. So are they all turning into robots now, babe? Literally all of them decided to turn into a robot.
Oh, yes. Oh, God, I hate multiverses.
But yeah, and then also, of course, there was, like, big stinkers like Thor Love and Thunder, which had just, like, the shittiest CG of all time, and etc. Like, that's the point at which people started realizing that the CG artists are not being paid good enough and, like, are being rushed, etc. Maybe what were you gonna say, Vince?
Like, I think my favorite universe for, like, stuff happening that should be world-shattering and that it isn't is just Doctor Who. Because people react to every alien invasion like it's the first. It's the funniest thing. Like back in 2005, they have a plot line where it's like, oh, an alien spaceship has crashed into Big Ben, and the world is watching like, oh god, it's first contact. And then that ends up not really going much of anywhere, but whatever, right? And then there's been like several Dalek invasions, and each time people are like, whoa, alien invasion. And then like there was the time that like they accidentally elected there's the time they accidentally elected an evil Time Lord to be Prime Minister, and he took over the world and had like floating metal balls become the masters of humanity. Nobody mentions that anymore.
I made Sonic promise Amy that they'll go out after this is over.
That is generally considered the sequel. Like, people consider that date to be the premise of Black Knight.
Oh yeah, that's true. Right. I remember that. Lynn said, "Oh, they're fucked." I think about the actor for King.
Maybe they could have a plot line where all the Kangs have merged together from the multiverse, and now they've become this one really mutated suit monster actor guy called Kang Squared, and he just comes on screen and goes.
Also, before we continue with the game, I want to give one more Marvel complaint, which is about Ant-Man 3, which is about the quantum realm, and I want to say I talked about this before, I think like last year, but so it's been a while. But because that's when I watched the movie. Most recently was last year. Okay, so with Sasha last year, we watched all the Ant-Mans in a row because she hadn't seen them, right? Or I think she hadn't seen Ant-Man 2, but we just watched them all in a row.
Yeah.
And Ant-Man 2, they go to the quantum realm briefly, and it's like this really like weird space, right? And it looks really cool. It has this very distinct sort of visual identity to it, where everything's like kind of, it's like shaky, and like everything's like a little bit like undefined, And there's like weird echoes of things and stuff like that. Like it's really cool, right? But it's like a short sequence in the movie. And so now they make a movie entirely about going to the quantum realm. And so they kind of have to necessarily scale it back, because like the CG that went into this, the CG could look really cool for this short sequence because it was short, right? And they could put their all into it. Now you've extended it to an entire movie, and now it's just generic sci-fi place. Like it could have just been like an alien planet and nothing would be different. Right.
Depressing.
It's just Star Wars, but instead of being in space, they're just like small, basically.
Yeah.
And they just completely took all of what made it interesting out of it. They just completely ruined it, in my opinion.
I feel like sometimes these stories might have worked better in some kind of comic book.
Funny how that works. Alright, we're gonna talk / use Professor Pickle again. Also, I kept trying to make the quantum realm make sense in my head. Where it's like, well, where is it? Right? Because like you have to like go through like between the atoms to get there, right? Yeah. And it's like, but it's like a coherent, like cohesive world, right? Like different people have come to it from different places, and they end up in the same place, right?
Yeah.
So, like, it's not that it's... And, like, I'm like, what is everything made out of here, then, right? If you're between the atoms, like, if you're between the fabric of reality, essentially, what's this universe made out of? Could you, like, shrink here and go into another quantum realm? Like, what's below this one? And it's like, what is this even made out of? Like, where is it? Like, is it basically, have you just teleported to another universe, essentially? Is that what this is?
I like the idea that the quantum realm exists between all atoms. The exact same one.
Yeah, like, is it just are you just teleporting to another dimension that exists? Like, like this isn't
Is it
just
like Mario 64? Is it all PUs? Identical
yeah,
PUs.
they don't touch on any, like they just don't want you to think about that basically in the movie, which I think is to its detriment, essentially, because like, you know, especially the Marvel Cinematic Universe, like, well, the Marvel Universe always is very sci-fi, right? It's always like, it's always concerned with giving scientific explanations for things, right? Like a lot of its main characters are scientists. And so like, they like, they like to give, you know, scientific explanations for things. I mean, it's always sci-fi explanations for things. So the fact that they just kind of hand wave away whatever's going on here, like, really irked me, you know? Because, like, I thought that kind of stuff was the point of this universe.
I think this is basically just like Survivor. Remember what you said when I described Survivor to you? The stand. For the record, I'm talking about Survivor, the stand.
Yeah, I remember.
They give this description of how it works, and they're like, oh well, you see, the stand exists within the electrical potential of your brain when you feel a jolt of anger, and then if the ground is wet, it can be carried through the ground and can interact with other people through their feet. The electrical potential being carried through their nervous systems, their brains, unlocking the same anger within them. And Elena's like, why is this like half science and half just magic? It works.
No, it's just like, why did they go to the trouble to explain this so thoroughly when, like, most of the things in JoJo are just like, they don't bother explaining. It's just like, here, it just works like this because it does.
I mean, this is still just half. So, it works, like, when you really get down
yeah, but
to it.
I'm just saying with the Marvel stuff, it's the opposite, where it's like they used to like they used to couch everything in science, and now for the most part, they don't really worry about that.
Yeah.
Everything was because yeah, I think that's one of the other ways that it's been breaking down. Is that they don't explain stuff as much anymore, because that was like a part of it.
Wasn't there a thing like they stopped having directors or something, and they only have producers or something?
I have no idea. I haven't heard about anything like that.
And then like recently, it's looked like they've been discussing why it hasn't been working, and apparently the internal plan is to just have more producers on things.
Oh yeah.
And I saw people using that one post that's
that one meme.
It's like the horse and cart, and the horse can't pull the cart out the mud. It's like the common sense solution, more horses. The management solution, more people in the cart whipping the horse.
Yeah.
I think I agree, Maxie. Like, I think Star Wars is ruined by its own legacy.
Okay, but where am I supposed? Nowhere is lit up now.
Wait, what was the last thing Professor Pickle said?
I unfortunately didn't pay attention to him.
Elena,
because
you
we were talking.
Showed! Why have you done this?
I was only I realized halfway through reading his stuff that I wasn't reading enough.
Elena, you chodiness. You've ruined everything.
Absolutely nowhere is lit up now.
Okay, we're gonna go back to Professor Pickle again.
And hope to God hope to God this is not a situation like in Digimon story. Well, I don't want to talk. No, shut up. Oh my God, they had so much to say.
I mean, you're missing the storyline about this kid who doesn't want to follow in the family business.
Kurt Craftsman cleared? What? I don't even know what I did. Thanks. just kind of assumed that the sun was correct. I didn't even know what was going on. I'm like, yeah, I'm sure the kid's probably in the right.
The kid is always in the right.
Yeah, I got the impression that he was, you know, trying to be controlling or something.
Also, it helps that by Disney character design rules,
I can talk / use tails too. Okay, so this is what I was supposed to do. I was supposed to talk to Tails.
Hell yeah, it's time for a prolonged QuickTime event. I love this generation of video games on the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3.
Basically, to me at this point, the Marvel Cinematic Universe ends with Endgame. Like, they shouldn't have kept making movies after that point.
Yeah.
And even like Endgame I felt was slightly disappointing even. But like I'll take that as the ending to all of it over like whatever they're doing now. There's been a handful of things that I've liked post Endgame, but like it's clear that like they've jumped the shark thoroughly. And like things are they're going too far. They haven't realized that they had lightning in a bottle, and that like their time with it is done now. You know. Like they've speed run like you know how we ended up with like zombie Simpsons for a long time. They speed ran that type of situation, basically. They did it in like a decade. Like it took them just over a decade to reach that point. Whereas I think Simpsons had more like 20 years before they really reached that point. Like sure there was already a decline. Not too very long into The Simpsons. But like, I think there's still, like, The Simpsons changed pretty early on. But like, I think it still took them a while to get to the point where it was just like, this shouldn't be happening anymore, you know?
What's the fastest end shitification of a franchise you know of?
Oh, maybe SpongeBob, honestly. Because people say that like season 4 is when it went bad, you know?
I have a weird alternate suggestion.
Uh-huh.
Rodea the Sky Soldier. Because for people who don't know, Rodea the Sky Soldier was a really good Wii game that then, for contractual reasons, had a mediocre 3DS port that then, for business reasons, was ported to the Wii U and was still mediocre. Then they never released the actual good Wii version. The Wii version was a fucking bonus feature on the first run of the Wii U version, which sucks.
Wow.
So, like, literally before they had one release, Rodea had already gone from a cool game with nice mechanics to dumbed-down garbage.
Wow. Also, this is not very riveting gameplay right now, I'm gonna be honest with you.
But Elaine, you get to look at the Grampinks.
I get to look at all the billboarded clouds.
No, but look at that thing.
The egg cauldron. You shouldn't let Eggman name his own robots, I think, at this point.
Missed the tornado sequence in Essay 1. Yeah, that was gameplay.
But this is Kino, apparently.
It's Kino Ambitious, the magnum opus of bass Brozuka.
The magnum of piss.
You can tell it's ambitious. Because they couldn't. It was too ambitious for gameplay. They could only depict an aerial dogfight of this complexity using QuickTime events.
I remember I learned the term magnum opus from Pac-Man World 2, which had a level called Magma Opus.
magma opus. Oh, that's terrible.
It was one of the volcano stages.
I think you owe me compensation for telling me that.
Oh.
I saw a video thumbnail today, that was like, why Sonic Unleashed. It was something like, why Sonic Unleashed matters in 2024, the last game where Sega cared. It's like, I think pretty much the only reason people say that is just because the graphics are good. That's basically it. Well, okay, and also there's a CG, and there's also a really long CG intro.
You wanna know the other thing that this always bothered me about the Marvel movies? Even before they've become especially shittened. It's just that, like, you know, Iron Man and etc. They all have like all this like super advanced technology stuff, right? Like even as far back as in like 2008, he's got like his little like projector things projected in the air, and he's like moving them around and shit, right?
Yeah.
And then like you see civilians, even all the way up into like the 2020s and etc. They still just have contemporary technology, like they just have smartphones and stuff.
Well, yeah, obviously.
And it's like,
because they're just worthless chodes. They're not fucking.
it's like if he really wanted. It's like if you like, what is he even making this technology for? If it's just for use of like the government and like himself. It's like you could be improving the like. Why doesn't the whole world have all this shit? You know. In fact, there's literally like several like side plots about like when there's like the alien invasion during the first Avengers movie, that like a bunch of alien technology gets left over, right? And there's several side plots about civilians gaining access to like the leftover alien technology. And they're always made out to be villains, right? They're always bad guys who get the alien technology and like start using it for themselves. And the heroes and the government and etc. always have to come and confiscate it from them.
Well, the problem is that they attempted to be important in Tony Stark's world.
Like, yeah, like the Vulture from the Spider-Man movies. He's a villain because he works for a company that is contracted by the government to, like, clean up the alien stuff. And he keeps taking it, he's like, secretly taking it for himself and, like, building stuff. And selling it to, like, the criminal, like, to, like, criminal black market stuff, right? And that's why he made his, like wingsuit and stuff. And so the only examples of people getting access to the cool technology stuff is they're criminals. So like, I don't like the implications of that kind of stuff, you know? That stinks, I think.
Because you have to have the civilian life in these movies stay the same as it is in ours. Otherwise you might alienate people. Also, you're fucking in Eggman land, Elena.
Yay.
This is what Eggman's been trying to build since Sonic Adventure 1. Isn't that wild? He actually fucking did it. He fucking did it! Me fucking boy, he did it! Oh,
I
Eggman!
I like the visual design here. I think this is one of the best looking places in the game.
It is quite nice.
Funny that I feel like one of the best looking places in this game is the one that's like the most fantastical. It's the most like a typical Sonic location.
Yeah. It's funny because parts of this almost look like they could be level designed from like an adventure game as well. So like...
It makes me think of Sonic Colors a lot. I feel like Sonic Colors looks at this level and is like, more of that, please.
I should probably clarify, I'm saying that like, visually it feels like one of the most Sonic-esque environments in this. But also I'm saying that like, this segment here with the lights and stuff, that looks like a Shadow the Hedgehog level piece, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know, it looks like from a normal platformer rather than like the weird quick time event roller coaster we've been playing.
Yeah, Maxie says, but I don't want to cure cancer. I want to turn people into dinosaurs.
This is just coming back to the Doctor Who stuff again, isn't it? You know.
Also, I think one of the other things that they started getting wrong about the Marvel movies was that, it's like they were always very serious in nature, right, originally, but they were praised for also, like, containing humor, because that was, like, novel at the time, right, because you could have, like, a serious story, but it wasn't, like, The Dark Knight, where it's just 100% serious the whole time.
Yeah.
Like that. Like it was compared positively, or it was compared favorably to the DC movies at the time, because those were like very grim, dark, extremely serious, and people thought it was refreshing to have superhero movies that were also took themselves seriously, but were allowed to be funny as well.
Yeah.
And the problem is they heard, oh, people like that these movies are funny, and then started making them like mostly just a comedy.
This is the problem: is people in suits, they don't understand. They can't think like people. The fucking tie cuts off the circulation to their brain, and they just hear buzzwords,
Like,
and they just chase after them.
Sort of the levity of the movies originally just made them feel more human, you know?
Yeah.
Which is perfect, because that's basically what Marvel always is, right? Is that there's the superheroes, but they focus on like the human side of them, right? They make them feel like real people. And I feel like they kind of lost the plot with that kind of stuff eventually.
Yeah. I'm a big proponent of the idea that you can do serious stuff and comedy at the same time. Largely because that's actually what real life does, funnily enough. But yeah, I don't know. To be fair though, I think that like the way Marvel, from what I've heard, the way Marvel does comedy was never something I was going to enjoy though. Because isn't it like comedy to like make it so that people who are ashamed to watch the movie feel pandered to? Like, yeah, we'll go with a stupid movie. It's okay, we know it.
Well, I feel like that was more like I don't think it was like that originally. Like that's not the vibe that it gives. Like the older Marvel movies, that's definitely not the vibe I get from their style of humor. I feel like that's the same exact problem that I was talking about.
Okay, that's okay. Well,
that it eventually turned into that type of thing.
Okay, I guess we'll probably agree then.
Because the Marvel movies started before that style of humor became popular in movies. Because I forget his name, but there's basically like one guy who spearheaded that type of thing in American cinema.
Jizz Wheat Dom.
I don't know. I don't know his name. I don't think it's that though.
Juice Woos. Juice.
Because it wasn't like... Because, yeah, it wasn't like self-aware humor so much as it was just like... It was just like kind of some levity introduced into the situations, you know?
Sometimes funny things happen.
Yeah.
I don't know much about Madam Web. I don't know much about that one.
Something else that's kind of interesting that they've been doing recently is, so there's... Oh, that's interesting. We just switched during a level, I just realized. Also, I'm recalling that I heard some horror stories about this level as well, so... We might be here a while, chat.
All I'm gonna say is
well, because you were like, oh, we could knock this out in a couple streams, but like,
yeah.
From what I've heard about this level, I don't know.
I imagined one of the streams would just be this one level.
I see.
To be honest, that's the kicker.
But I'm sure looking forward to that.
I feel like there's a meme somewhere, like it's just a picture of a horse. So it's like that's the kicker, and it's like it's like a wolf. And it's like that's the bison. I might look at it. The one.
Wait, what button am I supposed to press for that? What button am I supposed to press for that? I forgot! I haven't played as Werehog in a while.
B. I think.
I hope it is.
You know,
B.
the one modern style superhero movie I've seen is fucking Wonder Woman, which people said was like one of the good ones. People said, "Oh, Wonder Woman's good. It's like one of the few good DC movies." Right?
It is one of the best of the DC movies.
It felt mid to me.
Oh yeah, I think it's not a movie I've ever felt compelled to watch again. But neither are any of the other DC movies.
I feel like the action,
fuck me.
I feel like if you're gonna have live action, if you're gonna have live action actors do Dragon Ball fights, the cinematography needs to have more energy to sell you on it. You know. It kind of looks like, you know, when you would get adverts for League of Legends. It's like live action people holding magical swords that shoot fire.
I don't think I've ever seen that. No.
I used to get ads like that on YouTube or something, or it'd be something like League of Legends or Dota or Guild Wars or some shit, right? And it'd be like, oh, you can get Super Mega Loot, get the Bingo Bongo sword, it's a cool game. And then it'd be like some fucking Californian young adults going, "Wow, look at my fucking bingo sword," and they'd be doing a little American sass TM, and they'd land on the ground in the superhero pose and create a crater or whatever.
I hate these things. These are like the worst mechanic in the game.
You can double jump, by the way.
I know I can double jump, Bis. You piece of shit.
But I used to get those ads, and the way the action worked in there, the combination of live action and CG, was the exact same as Wonder Woman. It was the same tier. And I just feel like you could make that sort of thing work. You just gotta you gotta give the cinematography enough energy that it creates the necessary reality lubricant, you know.
At this point, both Marvel and DC are just tanking, because you have both the Flash and the Marvels were the lowest selling superhero movies ever.
Well, I mean, the Flash was never going to be a good movie because quote speedsters are just stupid.
I hit the button. I hit the button, and he didn't grab it.
I think you can just hold it. I think you can just hold it, and then if something comes into range, it just.
I swear I've tried that before and it doesn't work.
I swear to God, that's what I remember doing. Maybe it's the Wii version. Hey, at least there's no Sun or Moon medals on this one, so you don't have to be looking.
Yeah, fuck you. I wanted to say, by the way, one of the other weird things about the Marvel Cinematic Universe at the moment is that they insisted so let me backtrack. So, they started doing those Netflix TV shows, right? Mm-hmm. They did, Daredevil, they did Jessica Jones, they did, Luke Cage, and they did Iron Fist, right? Those are all the Netflix shows. And they had just the tiniest bit of continuity with, the main cinematic universe, right? They would acknowledge that, the alien invasion had happened. There was, a couple times they'd reference the Hulk or whatever. Right?
Yeah.
And they were never ever referenced by the movies, right?
Yeah.
They did the same thing with the S.H.I.E.L.D. TV show. It would constantly reference the movies and have crossovers from the movies, but the movies would never ever bring up Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
There was no back reference to it, right?
Yeah, so it was sort of like Sonic. It was like the Sonic games and IDW kind of.
Yeah. They've changed that now, and they've been bringing back the characters from the Netflix shows and integrating them into the main stuff now. Like they brought back Kingpin and Daredevil and stuff, and it's like the same actors.
Oh, cool.
And it feels really weird, honestly. It's kind of odd.
It feels like a good change, even if it's odd. Like it's an artificial distinction, and it should go. You know. It's like you know, it's like the same way we should have modern net. Why the fuck don't we have modern net?
Or classic Shadow.
Biss, you know the song Toxic? Yo, yeah, the one that's like wee 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 ba 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 ba. Yeah, the one it's from Doctor Who series 1, and also maybe Britney Spears or some shit. I don't care. I have like a weird. Madam Web has it. It's got a funny usage. Huh. You mentioned earlier like it being very much like 2000s superhero movies. Is it just 2000s themed in general? Because Toxic was a 2000s ass song. And I've noticed that 2000s nostalgia is big now. Like, oh yeah, I'm telling you. Yeah, like McDonald's changed its set list recently, and it suddenly started appealing to me. Like they suddenly started playing stuff from when I was a babbler, and I clapped like the fucking little obedient consumer I am.
Do they play Smash Mouth?
No, I have not heard Smash Mouth yet. But I've heard like S Club 7, you know.
I don't know what that is. I actually know very few bands from the early 2000s.
To be fair, S Club is like a British specific thing, I think.
Okay. Because, like, basically the reason I know very few bands from the early 2000s is that my parents said that they like, stopped following music in, like, 1998.
I want to go and watch The Idol.
And all the music that I grew up with was stuff that my parents would play, and so very little of it was contemporary.
God, that really was 2000s ass. Do you remember when fucking Shrek 2 had like an American Idol like parody? On its like DVD. That was fucking wild.
The most recent Defunctland episode was about how there was the American Idol experience at Disneyland.
That feels accursed.
Or at Disney World, or whichever park it was at. Why am I fucking this up every single fucking time?
I think because you keep boosting.
Excuse me for wanting to use one of the main game mechanics that works in, like, most scenarios. And I see a long corridor, and I'm like, okay, time to boost.
Well, you see, the problem is that so far most of the game has just been effectively quick time events, you know? You go to a quick step section, and it's just left, right, you know? And they took that as far as they could have added that. They were like, okay, the quick time events come as fast as you can react to them. So now suddenly they have to be like, oh well, let's just go back to normal difficulty. Like platformer difficulty, where the platforms are complicated. You know, like the adventure games? Only now it's like Sonic controls like the Slip Star from fucking Kirby Air Ride.
I am so done with Sonic Unleashed, Viss. You don't even know. You don't even know how done I am with Sonic Unleashed.
I think you could just skip those enemies. The polls are already out.
Oh, Dick's out for Werehog Sonic.
No! No! Put those back in!
Dick's out for Werehog Sonic.
No! Shut up! Shut up! Dick's out for Harambe was genuinely one of the most annoying fucking memes.
I know,
because it's so,
like, it really was.
It was so disingenuous and annoying, and like everybody had this weird stuff where they're like, "Oh, fucking monkey got shot. The kid should been executed, and the kid's parents should have been boiled alive.
I remember at the
acid,
time
like,
hearing a lot of discourse about that zoos should not exist. Because, like, we shouldn't be just, like, parading animals around for people's entertainment. And I had to be like, no, that's really not the point of modern zoos. Like, maybe it was in, like, the early 20th century and older. But, like, they're mostly about conservation and education, you know? It's not just like go and stare and point at the funny animals. It's like go there and like learn about them and get to like be in touch with nature a little bit more, you know, get to see parts of nature that you don't usually get to see at home, you know. And the people who work there are passionate about animals and, you know, etc.
Also, if I'm going to play devil's advocate here, there's a fair number of animals that don't care if you point and laugh at them.
Yeah, like I don't think that like stick bugs are gonna care too much. You come look at them at the zoo.
I still can't get over the thing you said earlier on the stream. I was like, I'm gonna repeat a line you said earlier in the stream and laugh at it again. I was like, do you think isopods know when they're dead? You're like, I don't think they even knew they were alive to begin with.
Yeah, I don't think isopods know when they're alive. I don't think they have the brain capacity for that concept.
I think, therefore I am. And I laugh at the isopods that don't, so they don't.
Yeah, they don't think, so they aren't.
Fucking idiots. Fucking rock with legs. Oh. There's something so funny about these basic little, like, meat machines. I say looking at a dog.
I saw the topic of like are zoos ethical come up again recently with people being like oh they just kept all cooped up and like it's like you realize that animals in zoos like live way longer than they do in the wild and they have like a really like lavish life where they don't have to worry about anything. Yeah. And like their natural environment is like perfectly recreated, and like they're fed every day, and like they're taken good care of.
Like I think that's one of the things people need to learn is that wild animals are just generally not happy. they're just these poor saps that are beholden to their DNA, and they're slaves to their genes. And they exist only to poop out bablets. And they could just suffer their entire lives. And if it doesn't inhibit their ability to fuck, it doesn't matter. This guy was literally climbing up a wall like a spider person.
Oh my god.
Elena...
I think there's this whole extra area that I just happened to accidentally find because for no real reason I decided to jump there.
There's some nice alternate paths going on here.
This is just a totally different level at this point.
Hey Elena, serious question, and you know, you don't have to answer this necessarily.
Yeah.
How would you feel if how would you feel, if for next Halloween I dressed up as Spodinus Man? Not Spider-Man, just actually Spodinus Man.
Oh, like as you drew him?
Yeah.
It'd be great. Would enjoy that immensely.
I've heard interesting things about Ghost Rider. Not much,
oh
but I've heard
God.
interesting things.
I know he's got a funny Lego set where he's just a tiny minifigure, but the motorcycle is like built like extremely huge, completely out of proportion.
Oh my god, it's Ghost Rider Jr.
I can ride the motorcycle today. My feet can't reach
That's really funny.
It's okay.
second film was by the director of Gamer. Never heard of it.
Also, I wanted
also
to
by the-
yes.
No, you go on ahead, Lena. Keep going.
So what were you gonna say?
No, that's fine.
I finally made it.
Anyway, I was thinking about, like, you know how one of my pet peeves is people basically saying it doesn't matter if a piece of media is, like, largely enjoyable and succeeds at its own creative goals. If it doesn't follow what I think good writing is...
Oh, you're just complaining about that one video.
Yeah.
About Breath of the Wild.
Yeah. I think I've got a meme cooking in me, right? The myth of consensual art. I've made this to be enjoyed by people. I'm enjoying it. Isn't there somebody of a degree you forgot to ask? What it's
Incredible.
like. And then people will, like, rebut this by saying, oh, well, The Room's a movie that's enjoyable, but it's not good. And it's like, I think actually the meme format I gave is a good example of how to differentiate, right? Because, like, say JoJo Part 2, right? I love JoJo Part 2 because it inverts the way people generally think about storytelling. Because people think about storytelling as, like, you set up a load of Lego bricks, right? And you say to the audience, here's the green brick, and here's the red brick. And you keep doing that, and then you show them what it comes together towards, right? JoJo works in, like, this different... JoJo Part 2 is more like a magic act, you know?
I don't know how to... I don't remember how to activate Unleash mode.
Both bumpers, maybe. Or both
That's what I was
triggers or
doing. I
something.
was doing both of those, and it didn't do.
Huh. I don't know, then.
Even though I have it available.
But yeah, what was I saying? Okay, Fuck,
Nope.
come on, brain.
We're about to game over, because I'm not going to make it past this again.
So, but my point is, right, okay, is that, like, in that story format, it's more like a magic show, right? JoJo Part 2 is like a magic trick on Penn and Teller, right? They show you something ridiculous that makes no sense. And then the punchline, and then afterwards, they explain it to you, right? And it
But
kind
then
of
they
works
still
almost like...
managed... But then they still managed to fool you with it again. Like,
Yeah.
like they explain it to you, but you still can't figure it out.
Yeah. So it's like this, it's this sort of inversion of what people think good storytelling is, but it works, right? And I think the
that's
thing is
Penn
with
and
that...
Teller's whole thing was they disliked magic in terms of it being like tricking somebody. You know,
Yeah.
they
want to show the art that actually goes into it.
Yeah, but they also still like mystify you with it. You know,
Yeah.
like they wanted to prove that like the magic was still impressive even if they explained how they did it. You know.
Yeah. But like putting that formula into like the Jesus consent meme, right? It's like the author of JoJo is like, I want to create a funny and gripping action series. And the audience is like, I am amused and gripped by this action series, right? Ergo, it has succeeded at its own goals, right? The Room, you know, I'd say that I'd say for like other things that people consider to be quote unquote bad, even if people like them. Like I don't know, like Sonic Adventure kind of goes in there sometimes. Like, I don't know, there's probably some other examples I'm not thinking of, right? But, like, it's that same thing where it's like, the creator and the audience are having the desired relationship, right? The thing is with The Room, is the guy who made it was like, I want people to be gripped by this drama that captures part of the human experience. And the audience goes, man, that ain't my experience. Speak for your fucking self.
That's
like the audience.
That's like the people who are like, you shouldn't make this movie about like a black woman because how am I supposed to relate to the main character now? You know, feels very similar to that.
absolutely weakling tier.
How am I supposed to watch something if I don't see myself exactly in the main character?
Now I'm thinking about the right-wing meme that was like, it was like when the first of the sequel Star Wars movies was being teased, it was like, the white male audience must identify with the little cuckball.
Oh yeah, I love that. It's so funny.
I'm dying.
It's funny because they meant it completely seriously.
Yeah, they did.
Utter absurdity. Oh yeah, Biz, this is reminding me of that post I shared with you about the Amazing Digital Circus as well.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna say something right now, right? I hate, like, insincere fucking, you know, like, I hate stuff that refuses to have heart, right? Okay? So when I heard that people are saying that Amazing Digital Circus...
Well, it was one person. I don't know how many people...
Okay, so what Elena tells me about somebody saying that both of the current episodes of Amazing Digital Circus are Rick and Morty style nihilism humor, haha, nothing matters. I got like really fucking irritated because like the pilot, I can see that, right? Like that's something, the pilot, a lot of it was just like, yeah, we're in an existential nightmare, but like don't think about it. I'm talking like I'm an American who fucking is describing the office conditions at your new job, and that's the joke, is that you're in hell, but I'm like sugarcoating it in this mildly awkward way.
Can I interject something at this part real quick? I just wanted to say that, given that that's how, the first episode is, I feel like the second episode makes it work a little bit better because you immediately see, so it takes place one day after the first episode, right?
Yeah.
And you immediately see Pomni's demeanor towards all of it has changed, and like she's not in that mode where it's like, oh my god, like what's going on type of thing. She just looks more like tired at this point, right?
Yeah.
Like I feel like it works better because you've seen her. You've now seen her like come to terms with what's going on in a different way, you know?
Yeah.
So I think it makes more sense as that's just sort of her initial reaction and not just how she's going to be for the entire show, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And also, of course, it helps that in the second episode the voice acting is a lot more natural.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think specifically like the way that like Ragatha is presented is like the main contrast for me. Because like in that first episode, it really was just haha awkward sugarcoating as the joke, ha 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 ha. I talk like in a way that's really casual. That's the it's like it's that kind of like
But now
nobody takes stuff seriously enough American humor.
Now they've spun it more as she's really trying to keep things positive.
Yeah, she's like genuinely
trying to, like,
a concerned, nice person.
Yeah.
And also, like, yeah, so here's the thing, right, okay, is episode 2, like, episode 2 has a cruel, indifferent world that the characters are in, right, okay? But the cruel, indifferent world is an antagonist that is an antagonistic force, which contrasts a main cast of people who try their best to care about things and be nice anyway, you know? The fact that the show takes validates the character's attempts to be good, right?
I missed the part where I was supposed to get off of that. I missed my stop. Why would they put a 1-up there? Like, how are you supposed to get that 1-up and then live?
By being a genius.
Oh, okay, thank you.
I think you gotta...
I'll try that next time.
God, I'm tired. I think tiredness has just hit me. been a long stream, and I think I've spent too much of it talking about big things.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I should. It's alright. I'm just part of wish I'm
fun.
stuck on the isopods now. The isopods
I was
can't
enjoying
get
our
very big.
conversation.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I mean, it's good conversation. Just I get very stressed when it's like, because there's a lot of things that I wish I was. There's a lot of things that really I should be just making a video essay about, you know.
I see.
But I don't have
making
the
a
attention span or
podcast, basically.
talent.
We're making
well,
a
if it's a
podcast
podcast,
about
it's so-
stuff.
That's the problem, is that it's not a very good podcast.
Why?
Like, because the Sonic Unleashed going on at the same time, and I can't. And we fucking scramble over each other all the time. And,
I'm having a good time, actually.
Maxie, Elena is not gonna look at her move
In my
list.
move list?
There is no way she's gonna do that. Yeah, you see,
There's no way I'm gonna remember any of it, either.
Like, I think you should understand.
Like, it's all button mashing, so if I just mash buttons enough, I'll do interesting moves eventually.
I'm gonna give this anecdote because it's the best way of explaining this. You know, Elena thought that, like, a good chunk of the characters in Super Smash Bros. Only had 3 special moves.
Because one of them you can just do a pose.
Yeah, she thought any move that was a counter was just like an extra taunt. Because she couldn't figure out what they did. Try jumping while sprinting, then attack. Oh!
But your attacks are different if you're holding down the run button. Also, I died.
You should just probably keep grabbing rings to up your health bar.
I wish I knew how to use the Unleashed gauge. I've completely forgotten. I thought it was just pressing the 2 shoulder buttons.
I thought it was too.
I'm pressing them, and nothing is happening.
Let me Google this. Sonic Unleashed. How to use Unleash mode. Press R1 and L1 at the same time.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
Maybe you have to be over a certain quotient.
It was. The gauge was lighting up and it was ready. It was absolutely ready. You have to stand still. I thought I was.
Oh, that's great. I love it when you gotta stand still.
In Sonic the Hedgehog.
In any fucking game. Also, can I just mention, by the way, well, I should probably clarify. I don't mind if a move forces you to stand still. I just don't like not being able to activate, so it should override the run, you know? It should be able to start from the run. Anyway, people, because I googled Sonic Unleashed, how to use Unleashed Madoe. I misspelled it, right? People also ask how to use Unleashed, Sonic Unleashed? How to ring dash in Sonic Unleashed? Can you play a Shadow in Sonic Unleashed? And how do you use the pole in Sonic Unleashed?
How do you use the pole?
Can you drift in Sonic Unleashed? Is Sonic Unleashed the hardest Sonic game? Is Sonic Unleashed a hard game?
Oh my god. Okay,
why isn't Knuckles in Sonic Unleashed?
It's a good question. Why isn't he?
Why did Knuckles hate Sonic? Is Knuckles jealous of Sonic? Why is Knuckles evil in Sonic?
Does Knuckles have cock envy?
Why does Shadow hate Sonic? Who is Knuckles' father? Oh my god, every time I open one of these questions I get more. Is Shadow in love with Sonic? Obviously. Who is Tails' girlfriend? Who is Silver's girlfriend? Who is Silver's girlfriend?
Who's Tails' girlfriend? Is that? Are they just asking about Blaze? Like, are they trying to remember Blaze's name because they think she's his girlfriend?
So the answer for who is Silver's girlfriend is sourced from SonicXHeroesForever.fandom.com.
Oh boy.
And it says, Blaze, Silver's girlfriend. Not canon, by the way.
Shit, that's a hell of a move.
Does Silver have a baby with Teddy? What? Who is Knuckles' crush? Is Tails genderless?
Sure.
Who is
Tails
asking
genderless?
questions? Is there a girl version of Tails? Millie Prower. More commonly known as a nickname, Tails Co. is a recurring character on the Tails and Sonic Pals channel. What the fuck is what?
Why are you missing, Sonic? Just Jesus Christ.
Is Knuckles a girl or a boy? Is there a red Sonic? The wackiest or boring adventures of Sonic comes back with a new hedgehog named Red Sonic, usually named Reddy.
Reddy?
What the fuck? This is an IMDb page. The Red Sonic and Sonic Show?
Huh?
What? This is...
That's on IMDb?
The TV series 2022 to present. The Red Sonic and Sonic Show. Created by Winnie J. Meredith. Stars David Voice, Microsoft David, Winnie J. Meredith. What the fuck is... Top cast Ryan Drummond?
Huh?
Ryan Drummond was not in this.
Sonic and Red Sonic!
Okay. I
literally was pointing the other direction when I boosted.
I'm gonna send you a picture from the IMDb.
Oh my god, I hate this game.
You're not gonna... It is kind of exactly what it says on the tin, to be honest.
Sonic and Red Sonic?
Well, no, it's Red Sonic and Sonic. Sonic gets second billing.
Oh, excuse me, you're right.
It has 11 episodes.
We're on the roller coaster. Yeah, I see that they really just kind of took this concept and ran with it for Sonic Colors, didn't they?
Yeah.
Eggman theme park.
I don't know what rabbit hole I fell into, Maxie. I should probably get myself out soon.
Well, I'm being very amused by you being in it, though, so I think you should stay.
There is only one season, and that is season 3.
That's amazing. Also, the term rabbit hole just makes me think of the song now.
Aww. Okay, so these are the episodes in season 3. Are you ready?
I'm so ready.
Episode 1, Tales in a Dark Realm. No synopsis. Episode 2, The Raging Fox on Christmas. This was a synopsis. Reddy and Sonic was going to enjoy Christmas, but they had problems to deal with. Purple Tails was trying to ruin Christmas for not getting a present. Reddy and Sonic had to give Purple Tails a present without him seeing them, and he got a coal. Episode 3, no synopsis.
Ouch. God damn it.
Episode 4, Sonic the Spider Hog. Reddy, Tails, and Sonic moved to New York City to stay there for a month.
Thank you, Sonic Unleashed, for giving me a 1-up every time I start this checkpoint.
Very classy move on Sonic Unleashed's part. Robotniks. Wait, Robotniks form over New York City? What's that mean? Robotniks form over New York City! And Dr. Eggman will not stop until Eggman Land is made. Episode 5, Tails is missing his tails. No synopsis. Episode 6, The Expired Chili Dog, no synopsis. Episode 7, Who's the Real Sonic the Hedgehog, no synopsis. Episode 8, April Fool's Prank Gone Wrong, no synopsis. Episode 9, Reddy Origins. No synopsis. Episode 10, The Turkey
Do any of
Hogs.
them have synopsises?
This one does the last one, the synopsis.
Uh-huh.
Red Sonic and Sonic prepare food for Thanksgiving, but everything goes horribly wrong when Red Sonic is left alone. Episode 11, the day
Where can we
everyone got
watch
cold.
this?
I don't think it exists.
But it's on IMDb, it has to be real. Why would they...
No, I found it. I found the Red Sonic show. Oh, okay.
Why would they put this ramp that's 100% necessary in the middle of this thing? Why wouldn't they just use a spring that goes across the whole thing? Because you can't see anything through the massive enemies. How are you even supposed to know you're supposed to be lined up right in the middle?
Elena?
Yes?
I think
why not just do the thing where there's a spring?
I think the Red Sonic show's YouTube channel has been hacked and has been turned into a content farm.
No.
Although then again, maybe this is just their new thing.
The greatest tragedy of our time.
Because they have TV Woman versus Skibbity Toilet Girl, Skibbity Toilet Animation.
Oh well, I mean,
57.
considering they're making a show called Red Sonic and Sonic, I wouldn't be surprised to find out that it's just a content farm channel.
I don't know, because the thing is, the Red Sonic stuff is just recolored sprites, right?
Yeah.
This here, though, is like faux Koenigsegg style, you know?
Oh, also, I just remembered something I wanted to tell you about this.
Yeah.
So, oh, look at these Eggman statues. That's so funny.
Yeah.
So I watched this video the other night about this guy called Mr. Bottom.
Oh?
And just about how he has like worked on a bunch of like games with just like stolen assets and or like just like exact copies of other games, and like doesn't give credit to like all the people that work on them, which in many cases were literally his students. Like he was like running like, or he was a teacher at like a game development school thing for kids, and like he would make games with the students and they'd publish them, and then he would just credit the game only to himself and like stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
And it turns out all of this was a front for making porn games, which is illegal in Russia, where he comes from.
Oh no.
And so like he would give like reports of like sales and like player numbers and stuff that would seem like really high compared to like what it should be based on the games that he was putting out, but it made complete sense if you factored in that he had a side thing making porn games that was doing way better, and that's where the numbers are actually coming from. And those were also all just full of stolen assets and were really terrible quality as well, but people seem to care less for whatever reason. Because he like kept producing normal games despite like severely diminishing returns. It was like still reporting like doing great numbers, and it's because of the porn games. And there was a lot of other things, but that was the main things. And the main thing I wanted to talk about was this guy's response to this video being made about him, which, by the way, this guy spent like several months researching all of this and like putting everything together, right? Like even just sort of piecing together that this guy was also the notorious porn game guy, right? Who made these awful games. And part of it was that like their names are just similar. Like this guy's called Vadim, and then the dev of the porn games is Vadim God. And so the guy saw this video and has been responding to it. And one of the things is he's like, the only, like, he keeps saying that I'm this other person, but the only evidence is that we have the same name. It's complete, like, there's no other evidence, even though there's, like, a ton of evidence, and there's, like, nearly 460, like, linked sources in the video description. And then on top of that, the guy went and found the YouTuber's wife and was harassing her online.
That's not cool.
It was like, how come your husband is stalking me online? Like, commenting on her stuff. And it was like making fun of her outfits and stuff. And it was like, what the fuck? This guy's 40 years old, by the way.
Oh.
It was really something. And also he got his mom to like show up and comment on his wife's stuff as well. And ask why her husband was stalking him. So like, that's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah. And he also made a big Reddit post. He's like, this YouTuber was like stalking me and like making up a bunch of stuff about me in his YouTube video. And he got the post deleted because like, and he was like, I'm not gonna link to the video because I don't want to like, cause a bunch of stuff. But really the reason he didn't want to link to the video is because if anybody watches it, they see he's full of shit, basically.
I hope they're gonna be alright, because like if they make porn games in Russia, that's illegal there. Like I don't know,
Yeah.
Russian prison would probably suck.
Probably.
I think Russia's.
But it wasn't the main concern wasn't the fact that it was illegal there. It was just that, you know, he was like taking credit from people and like making and like stealing stuff to make them and things like that, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
It was just that the whole thing was a scam, basically. It was the problem. Not that it like even in the video is like it doesn't like the fact that it's illegal there is kind of besides the point. It doesn't really matter. Because like obviously like it shouldn't be illegal there, you know?
Yeah.
But like yeah. Ba 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 ba. This guy's just a career scammer, basically. I don't know what I don't even know what I'm supposed to do here.
No, you were supposed to get up on the drum. No! You were supposed to stay on the drum thing!
What drum thing?
There's the other platform you went up to, and then there was a drum thing in front of you with, like, a thing around the side that looked like it could be climbed on.
No.
Oh, my fucking lord.
Like, this is just a dead end.
It's not a dead end!
Oh, there is a thing. See, the climbable surfaces are usually way more obvious.
That is true, it is a bit,
Like, I guess it does have the checker, or like the stripe pattern on it. But like, yeah.
Sorry if I get like a little bit antsy, I'm like, my leg's in pain at the minute.
Oh
Not
my
as much pain as it
god.
was in the other night though, so that's good.
That is good.
Sonic the Werehog, cast no fucking shadow.
Sonic Underground. Well, he does cast a shadow, it's just he doesn't have a blob shadow.
Sonic the Werehog, casts no blob shadow.
I only recently learned that the term for the little shadow that just stays underneath the character all the time. I only recently found out that's called a blob shadow. Because I was trying to figure out how to make one in Goodell.
I thought it was called a drop shadow.
It's called a blob shadow. Because the shadow is a blob.
Okay. Wait. Oh, there we go. Come on. You got this. You got this.
Like, why are they making me jump onto the balance beams like this, sideways. No, why did he just started? I was trying to just stand there to figure out where I wanted to go, and he just literally just slipped off all by himself.
Okay, for a start, those aren't balance beams. They're just raw geometry, which is worse.
Well, no, because when you walk on them, he does the balancing thing.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Never mind, sorry.
They're definitely balance beams.
I forgot. I thought you were doing that manually.
No.
I like how this barrel you're like climbing around has Eggman's weird like jacket nipples.
No, I hate these. It's so impossible to tell where the safe area of those platforms to stand on is. Like where you're not going to slip off. It's so extremely difficult. I hate it immensely.
I think it's a really amazing example of like telling a story of gameplay. That it feels like you're really breaking out the boundaries of the stage here. You know, you're the raw background geometry.
Oh lord, like Penny's big breakaway.
Oh.
Penny's
This
big
room.
butthole.
I remember this room specifically pissing me off a lot as a kid.
I hate this because of the flames. Trying to figure out which way is optimal to go. And it's neither of them. Either way is optimal.
You just have to pick a direction and stick with it. Don't hesitate.
Okay. I wish I could grab these, but you can't. You have to land on like the singular pixel of the two where you're allowed to stand on it.
This is like incredibly frustrating just to watch.
I'm so sorry.
Do you ever wonder if the reason Sonic 06 got a better review from IGN than this is just because 06 is like maybe easier?
Doesn't have the fucking werehog. I wish you could climb up edges that weren't just marked specifically as climbable edges.
Oh my god,
And piss the fuck off.
Remember, there's no such thing as too slow.
This is like the TF2 water tower. Looks like a TF2 character transformed into a water tower.
Lena, would you still love me if I looked like a TF2 character transformed into a water tap?
Sure.
Well, at least they were courteous enough to give you a life at the beginning, because otherwise this would be basically fucking impossible.
Yeah. How many times do you think it's gonna take before I fuck it up and miss the one up? Also, that was bullshit. I was on the pipe, and then it was like, no, you're not. It was like I took my hand off the controls so that he would stand on there, and then I could get my bearings. And then it was like, no. No, you're not standing on there, actually.
Can I just point something out, by the way?
Uh-huh. How did I miss that?
If this game had been properly
Come
slope-pilled... If this game's like basic movement was like properly slope-pilled like a Sonic game should be, it would probably still be very frustrating to go through this, but you would at least have experience of like what angles the werehog can handle safely.
I see.
And also it wouldn't be an arbitrary cutoff point where suddenly floor becomes wall randomly, you know?
Oh. And also the camera fucks with you being able to walk on these too, because every time you go around the corner, the camera changes direction, and that changes which direction on the analog stick is forward. Instead of it just
Classic.
sticking.
There's a grabbable object there, so I'm just like a beeline for that.
No, because that's in no, I'm not going there, because that's in between the balance beams that you have to jump on sideways.
You go to the side.
I thought he was going to jump higher than that. I thought that one jump would be enough.
It was very nice of the spikes to push you to the side as it hurt you.
It sure was. It was nice of the princess to push us to the side when she hurts us, eh, Luigi? Oh god damn it, why? I thought... Like, at least on the other ones, he's in, like, this balancing animation, and he, like, sticks to the platform somewhat. There, he's not stuck at all, and, like, if you deviate from the center at all, you're just dead.
If it's a consolation, I think this is the hardest part.
It better be.
Think that after this point, like, there's definitely stuff that annoyed me after this point, but this is like the bullshit nexus, you know?
This is definitely what's going in the thumbnail, is this section of the level. I'm gonna try going for this one this time.
Can I redraw you so you're like screaming and crying?
I'm not screaming and crying though, I'm keeping it together.
Can I redraw it so that...
Okay, we completely skipped the spike thing this time. And I can see the checkpoint from here. We might make it. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. This is the limited time grab thing. Okay, checkpoint reached. But now we don't get a guaranteed 1-up every time, so this could be much worse.
It's fine. I think the Werehog section is coming to a close. At the moment.
Okay, no better than to use a single jump to get over the spikes now. Okay, that section wasn't too terrible, honestly.
God, it has been such an ordeal.
Can I do this before they hit me? I sure can. Nice of you guys to just sit around and be useless. Alright, it's Sonic time.
Bunglers.
Yeah, it happened again. I tried to hit this. I had tried to hit the spring. And he just walked straight past it instead.
Silly Elena. Walking towards things in Sonic Unleashed, like a traditional platformer, you should have used the humbling.
There.
I think there's a lot of stuff that, like, even as a kid I knew kind of sucked about this game. And, like, watching it back...
I've seen people talk about, like, what's the first time that you, like, realized you like, a game you were playing was just bad, and it wasn't that you were just bad at it? Or, like, did you ever play... Or, like, I've seen people talk about playing a bad game as a kid, and, like, realizing something was off about it, but not being able to place it. Because they didn't have the concept of a game being able to be bad.
Yeah.
Like, they'd get, like, the shitty licensed games as a kid and stuff like that, and not... Like, notice something was off about it, but not having the language to explain it, or anything.
I spent my entire goddamn, like, childhood trying to save my younger relatives from that. I would try to explain to the people buying them gifts, like, listen, there are good and bad games, do not buy them, like, fucking, whatever it will be, Incredibles, Game Boy Advance, or whatever. just get them something that's, like, actually good, and they'll be like, but babe, you said they weren't Incredibles. And I'd be like, well, okay, fucking fine.
Get them Wonderful 101 instead.
Although, I don't know, maybe that's a bit much. That's a bit like giving them fine. That's a bit like giving them a fine liqueur. You know, they're still a babbler. Just maybe you should give them something other than like McDonald's that you've wiped your ass
Fucking
on.
damn it! I'm down to one life.
I dislike this.
Because of this stupid section. Entirely due to this section. Yep, I knew that was gonna get me. I couldn't get out of there before it came forward. Well, that's 43 minutes down the drain.
Well, see you next time, everybody. I told you it'd be a couple streams.
Yeah. This is like the life system is being removed from video games now. Yeah. I don't miss lives.
I feel like a life system is kind of like throwing somebody up against the wall with your hand over them and leaning in closely and breathing on their neck, you know? In so much as, if you've got everything perfectly right, it works great. If you haven't, it's an atrocity. You know?
Well,
it's
okay, the game I'm making right now basically has a live system, but it's like per level, right? Super Climb Up has essentially lives, but they work like hit points, right? And you get, they're replenished every level, right? Like each level has a certain amount of lives you're afforded, basically. And it's just like, so it keeps the game like skill-based, basically, right? Like if that game didn't have lives, then it would just be piss easy, you know? It would like, I mean, I guess there could still be incentive for like completion's sake to like play without ever taking a hit. But like, I feel like playing that way is more incentivized if you have to start the level over if you take too many hits, you know?
Yeah.
So like, there are certain cases where lives make sense, but that's the thing, is that it's certain cases where they make sense, you know? Whereas it used to be just every single game would have them by default, you know?
Yeah.
Like that was just the norm.
I think honestly,
I think lives as a mechanic are like they're just a mechanic, right? And they make sense in certain circumstances, and in others they don't. Basically, yeah.
I think one of the big things of the entire Sonic series is consistently, it's more fun to be able to have a game where you can do better. Where like Sonic is more about optional difficulty, right? It's about doing better because you want to do better. And every time they try to have like a skill check, you know, like you cannot get past here unless you're this skill level. It nearly always sucks, right? Nobody fucking really liked game overs in Sonic 1 and 2. You know, like the fucking
It's, well, okay,
like,
that's the worst in the whole series because you have to start the entire game over. If you get a game over, you have to start the whole game over from scratch. That's why I never beat those games without save states until, you know, later releases of them, like Sonic Origins, where they get rid of the live system. Then I can beat them just playing normally. I had to use save states, like, in place of, or to, like, prevent game overs, basically. That's the only reason I used them. Is that, like, okay, now instead, if I lose all my lives, I just go back to the beginning of the level. Which is how it works now in stuff like Sonic Origins. I mean, say what you will about Sonic Origins. I think the best thing that it did was removing the lives. I think that elevates those games, I think. I mean, there's like problems that the release introduced, but like, I think removing the lives is like a big enough improvement for me that's like my preferred way to play those games.
Yeah. You want to know a game that I actually did, a game where I actually think the live system and having to start from the beginning improves it? Super Mario Bros. 1.
I see. I didn't mind it there. I think one of the reasons I don't mind it there is that game is easier than the original Sonic, I think.
Yeah. Number one, it's easier. Number two, it's like most of the worlds are basically the exact same.
Yeah.
When you really get down to it, so you don't feel like you're missing most of the experience.
Yeah, and when you learn the warp stuff, then like you skip a lot of the game as well. Like that's kind of the point of the warp thing, is like you'll discover those, and then your subsequent playthroughs will be like faster through it, you know? And also it makes the ending feel more of like an accomplishment, right? Because every time you get there, you're like,
yeah,
you're really tense, right? And then you finally get through it, and it's like, yes. What about the last levels? The last levels is that's a whole different thing. But I have.
Oh no, Lost Levels isn't included. I agree. Lost Levels should stay in there.
I've beaten that game 3 different times. I'm a Lost Levels freak. I've beaten all 3 versions of that game.
That's kind of badass.
I beat the original NES one, I beat the Game Boy Color version, and I beat the Super NES version.
Hey, it's getting kind of late. I think I need to end it.
Well, I mean, if you look at the stream, I'm already wrapping it up.
Okay, I am gonna rush off for reasons. They're very complicated.
Oh,
I have to do
okay.
with my leg.
Okay.
I will see everybody around.
Buzz.
Love you. Pets you on the head, and 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 pets you on the head.
Invader
And recommends your stream to an isopod.
I see people say that all the time, that like people bring up the screen crunch on the Game Boy Color version. It never really bothered me for whatever reason. I've played through that one twice now. I did it once on my own on 3DS Virtual Console years ago, and then I streamed it a while back. And the screen size doesn't bother me. I don't know. I always hear everybody say that, but it never bothered me. Alright, so that's this week's streams. I'll be back on Thursday. When does the Thousand Year Door remake come out? Let's see. Release date May 23rd. Okay, so that's still a ways off. So this week I will be continuing Super Mario 64 DS. Maybe get some Pikmin 4 in there. We will try to beat Sonic Unleashed, and then when that's done, we'll probably go back to more Super Mario 64 decades later. I'm gonna try to get up early enough that I can stream multiple games in a day. Also, so it's May 23rd when we're going to your cousin's graduation? Okay, so I won't be streaming Thousand Year Door on release day. I'll stream it the next day. Stream it on Friday. Well, Friday next week, Friday next week, not this week. I'll do another Little Bean bonus stream on Saturday, which will be ranking all of the pets from Neopets. Which will be a lot faster because there's only 46 of them as opposed to 491 of them. You know next to nothing about Thousand Year Door, so that's exciting. Yeah, me neither. I'm looking forward to streaming that. I streamed the original Paper Mario a couple years ago. Oh, and also, of course, I'm gonna bring up again. I will also stream Super Paper Mario after I finish Thousand Year Door. Don't ask why it's in this case. I don't know.
Dropped him.
I'm sorry, I'll pick it up in a minute. Yeah, so that's coming up. And then maybe I can figure out how to stream Sticker Star as well at some point. And then, if I stream Sticker Star, then the only Paper Mario I won't have streamed will be Color Splash. Oh, and we have Color. We have a Wii U and we have Color Splash, so maybe we'll just do the whole series. Maybe we'll get the whole series on my channel. So yeah. Thank you everybody. I I will see you again on Thursday. Bye-bye.